have plenty stories.
It's Open House Thursday on Your View. Welcome to the show. I am Murayo Afolabi Brown as always. I have the ladies. Hi. Hi.
Hi.
How you guys? Hi, Topsy.
So,
my name didn't actually change.
don't mind that.
You're very stubborn now. I actually just assumed that. How you doing, Maria? How you doing, Tokwe?
I'm good. So, default to driving. I think that I'm already in the flow. You know, school is resuming on Monday. I was just driving and I went straight to the airport. As like I was already turning to FRSC. I just realized, what are you doing here? You're supposed to go to the show.
Oh,
not school.
Then I now turned back. The children were not in the car. I'm just by myself and
yeah, default mode.
Default mode. Like what I thought about that, you're always complaining that I'm the one that has default mode. I was so absent-minded about it, you know. And like, how many of us are in that space? You know, being.
It happens to me a lot as well.
So.
Anyways, how you doing, Maria?
I'm doing fine. But
Please, sorry. I saw Professor Fabawo exercising this morning.
Oh, and you congratulated
him. I congratulated him. Then he told me, he said, when you come and visit the hospital, he said, when you get there, you would feel like getting pregnant. It is international standard. Come to Ngige, you will want to get pregnant. I said, okay, sir, don't worry.
Congratulations to Professor Fabawo. I mean,
and all the doctors.
He's always come to the show several times, and we're really happy and proud of you that he's now the MD, the CMD, Chief Medical Director of Ngige House. Fantastic. That's fantastic. Well, let's clap for him. I know he's Hey, Mariam, how are you?
So I'm doing fine, except I am in pain. All my muscles. I went swimming yesterday. Lord.
Oh, swimming.
You know when they say you will sleep well? I have not slept well. I mean, this is the second time I've been in that pool, and every time I'm left in so much pain. But yesterday's one was so bad. My arms, my thighs, every single muscle in my body.
How many minutes did you do?
Like 2 hours.
Yeah. What are you looking for?
We're learning to swim.
Oh, okay.
So I went with the kids, and there's a lot of lesson to learn from watching people learn to do something. You know, there was one point when I was swimming. I was supposed to meet my kids on the other side and the coach on the other side. I just stopped in the middle. I was like, what are you always looking for? You're in taekwondo, you're in swimming. You're too old for this.
All right.
But
swimming is good.
Yeah, it's good. The lesson I wanted to say I learned from this thing, when my children started, my daughter immediately took to water. Fantastic. Everybody was like, fish. Her brother was screaming and shouting, panicking. But yesterday, this after their 4th class, he was doing so well, so much better than, And it bothered him when he wasn't catching up, and yesterday it was just
swimming is always
fantastic.
a good thing to do. It helped me. It actually helped me with my healing process, with my accident. Instead of using painkillers, I swam to help build the muscles, to strengthen that place. It was really helpful. So, how are you doing?
Me too. I'm going to join.
You can't swim.
You guys come.
You've not passed the stage of learning.
Where's the compliance?
When do I do extracurricular activity? What are you doing? Brownie? What are you doing?
This is Nigeria.
No. Even Nigeria, yeah. We
brownie.
They did swimming in my kids' school. In my school when I was younger. Primary school.
Okay.
But the challenge was that my house, I grew up in Mile 2, and my school was in Ilukpeju. So I couldn't do any activity that would keep us late in school. So they just had to take
many secondary schools in Nigeria, maybe now, had swimming pools then.
Yeah, but
we
used
do
to go
tennis,
out
we do basketball, but no swimming. Really.
How are you doing, madam?
Very well.
Let's give us an interesting story, not traffic story today.
No, my daughter decided not to follow because I give her an assignment. You know, we are not doing a lesson like every other parent. We are just learning her skills. So I give her a style to make per day. And yesterday she said every day, all back. Tomorrow, shuku. Mommy, can you not change
with her doll, Abby?
With her mannequin.
So
she did all to the side last night. She left it.
You need to say this very well.
Weaving.
Your daughter is how old?
She's 6.
And she's weaving on the mannequin.
Yes.
And she does it very well.
Yes, and she makes braid as well. She makes skills.
So how did you put hair on the mannequin?
I bought it like that.
The mannequin had hair.
In fact, your story sort of influenced me. I bought a mannequin for Ima, but of course she tossed the mannequin somewhere.
The nature. Our daughter likes hair naturally, doing hair, and she's doing this. I
was like that too. I did hair, and I still do hair today.
Yeah. And me and her mom, I wasn't like that as a child. I could hardly use my hands for anything.
Fantastic.
My sisters were like
good skill to learn. Because people always do hair.
Yeah.
People always do hair.
How you doing?
I'm great too. I hope Ike is watching because something has finally happened.
Who?
You know how you guys always complaining that I don't wear bomb shorts around the house? Because when I got to the house, I always wear my boo-boo and everything. I can't be bothered. I get comfortable.
Okay, so
Ike and the whole lot saying that I should go and buy bomb shorts. Anyway, Oga gave me his boxers yesterday, and he said, "Oh, they look really nice on you." And I'm thinking, won't start this thing? And he gave me.
Actually, Dr. Faber was advising you to have.
So eventually, don't try to
have bomb shots in the house.
Let us say the story, please.
So instead of buying bomb shots, Oga's gave me his boxers, and I'm wearing the boxers.
Okay, I'll get you a pair. I'll get you bomb shots.
She got me a pair.
Really?
Yeah, I wear bomb shots.
You wear bomb shots? Elijah, you are against me. If Elijah can wear, I don't vex. I'm wearing bomb shots.
I'll get you one.
Thank you, Miriam, for that bomb shot.
The reason I brought up the story is because I thought my husband liked me comfortable, just be okay.
But it's very comfortable.
When I now wore the shorts, telling me, "Oh, I like the way you're looking," and I'm wondering, don't come and put me under pressure. I am not going to go and be big bomb shots because of you.
But let me put it out there. The reason why you're not welcome to my house without proper notice is because that's how I dress in the house. So if you don't call me ahead of time, don't come and knock the door. You will wait until I'm ready to come outside. People always think it's normal. I'm knocking, there's someone there.
Nima in bomb shots.
Well, you never see. It's for only Zibiri's view.
Yes.
Anyways, let's go on the break. It's Thursday. It's our happy Thursday.
Gisty.
We're gisting all the way. Yeah. We have lots of hot topics, but somebody just obstructed our hot gist. NME.
Yes.
Minister Ngige. So we have to slide that in first before we now go to our hot gist. But first, go through the front pages of the newspaper. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Right, we're going to start today with Daily Sun. Reps adjourn abruptly as Shiites storm National Assembly. Senate to pass 2019 budget on Tuesday. I'll end Tinubu-Saraki rift, says Kalu. Oshu Guba, Oyetola APC urge appeal court to uphold results. Measles outbreak hits Katsina, Borno, and Yobe. 96 million GSM subscribers in trouble over registration. Okay, let's start with the reps.
Okay.
They adjourned the National Assembly sitting abruptly.
Yes, the Islamic movement of Nigeria, the El Zazaki Shiite movement, calling for the release of their leader, El Zazaki, took siege of the National Assembly yesterday while the House of Reps were having... It was a peaceful march, but they've been calling for the release, and yesterday they broke through the first gate. And once that notice was communicated to them within the House, they had to stop plenary immediately because they were afraid that the security within the National Assembly will not be able to contain this group of people. What they are calling for, basically, is enforce what the court, if they've gotten a bail order, enforce it and release their leader. I don't understand this
really
abuse of court process by government holding on to the person who has been probably granted bail. I will look into that case again to be sure.
I think sometime last year we read in the papers that they said the federal government has the discretion to actually uphold or not uphold. It's based on some premise. They cited
security. They cited security as one of the excuses, and eventually that was why they were holding him before it was brought to court properly for a charge. So he's been charged, and the court, I'm not sure whether they remanded him or they granted him bail.
Let's move on to Daily Sun. NMA fumes as Ngige says Nigeria has surplus doctors. And Daily Trust was kind enough to let us know that we have one doctor, according to the WHO. I know we'll reference this in our topic. Let's talk about it. Let's take it later. Gateman rejects House offer, opts for borehole in his community. Saudi Arabia to build refinery in Nigeria. MTN finalizes plans to list on the NSE. Tinubu absent at Buhari commissions Ambode's projects. Okay, let's talk about the gate man.
The gate man, his name is Musa Usman, worked with this Indian national for 25 years. And because he was diligent and honest, the man decided to gift him a house. He said he was going to build him a house. But Mr. Usman said he didn't want a house, he wanted a borehole for his community. Mr. Usman lives in a thatched house, but he said his community does not have water, so he would rather have his boss give them a borehole.
And the Indian man was actually saying this while he was commissioning the borehole, and he was really impressed saying that this man worked for him for 25 years and he was very honest. And he traveled to India and nothing would be missing in his house. Yes. We have to give him a round of applause. That's Mr. Musa Usman.
Mr. Musa
from Jigawa State.
Yes, thank you for being a good ambassador of our country.
So we really applaud it. It was a fantastic story.
The Saudi refinery.
Yeah, the Saudi refinery. The reason why I didn't take it because they were just hinting at building a refinery. So it's not finalized.
Moving on to the punch. Let's just be clear. NMA, MDCA, and bash Ngige for saying doctors, saying Nigerians are more and not. They are actually more than enough. And let me say that again. NMA, MDCA, and bash Ngige for saying Nigeria has more than enough doctors. Yes, that's exactly what he said. Shiite storm National Assembly, force reps to adjourn plenary. Let me take a story we haven't taken here. Okay, power-drunk last summer official brutalized punchman. Will ensure payment of 30,000 naira minimum, which is NLC, and National Assembly to pass 2019 budget on Tuesday. So this story of this last summer, I'm glad that the boss actually, the last summer boss has taken charge of it, and they said that they just need the punchman to file a proper formal complaint. But tell us the details of what happened exactly.
His name is Emmanuel Aboydega. He works with Punch on his way back from working overnight at 9:30 a.m. They were stopped by LASMA officials. It so happened that LASMA officials were chasing a car, but their car sort of intercepted it, and the other car went away. So the LASMA officials were so upset that why did you let that car go? And the man said, see, I'm not the one that's supposed to help you catch the vehicles you're chasing. So because he was stubborn is why they beat him. They used wire to beat him. They used the car door to crush his legs. They beat him so hard he could not use his right leg. He had to take himself to the hospital.
So if you understand Maryland very well, you know that there's a BRT lane on that Ikorodu Road, and there's an intersection where you coming from the service lane can enter. That was what he was trying to navigate when cars that were on the BRT lane that the last mile cars were chasing were able to escape. So I don't understand the offense that he has committed, and I'm happy.
He was venting, and the thing is he spoke back. So what kind of environment are we building where a citizen, a civilian cannot reply the officer and say, I didn't do this.
And that is why the PRO was saying that he should make a proper complaint, and he's urging all Nigerians, when you find yourself in a situation like that, please make the complaints, because we've been teaching these officials how to be civil and polite to Nigerians. And
so he was now citing an example that about 14 of them will be let go. That's on a different issue. So this guy should do the needful so that they can actually do the right thing. Moving on now to The Nation. Buhari will improve lives with high-impact facilities. How to end insurgency by Buratai. MTN ready for listing on stock exchange. Appeal tribunal fixes verdict in Osun poll. Let's talk about our governor receiving our president properly, Jerry, please. He commissioned, I think, about 5 projects. He said the Ayinke House in Lasuth, the Institute, it's called Institute of Maternal and Child Care. That's the Ayinke House, right? 500-seater Lagos Theatre, 820 mass transit buses, the Oshodi Transport Interchange, and the rehabilitated International Airport Road. Fantastic, please.
For the airport road,
start from the house.
For the airport road, I must commend Governor, because I drive through every time. I've seen the work. It's almost complete. Almost.
Just always bashing.
Almost. But it's an amazing improvement of the road. I just wish they would just photocopy it and paste it on the other side of town.
I'm happy about the improvement in the health sector. I'm also happy about the fact that we now have Lagos theatres, which would be a very nice form of distraction from people going into negative vices and,
not only that, it helps to reduce piracy, because the more cinemas we have, people don't have to you premiere at the cinemas, people, you get your money back. You don't have to worry about those piracy, because you'd have earned your money back from the cinema. So we need more of these cinemas across the country.
So according to the reports, they're going to have more of that in Badagry, Ekpe, and Ugondo. They're under construction presently.
That cute picture of the governor and his twins and the...
that
picture is
so cute.
Let's move it up. That's Nigerian Tribune. So let's take it. Somebody has performed satisfactory. That's our president saying. WHO, that's in Nigerian Tribune, actually. WHO lists Nigeria among African countries with fresh measles outbreak. And picture of our governor, his wife, and the twins, the set of twins. The boy is prostrating, and the girl is
so cute.
Little kids. Yoruba Igbo ties. Oduduwa was never last born to the Igbo prince, says Oluwo. Billions of dollars worth of gold smuggled out of Africa every year. And Nigeria seeks Russia's help to battle Boko Haram. Okay.
So the measles, I wanted to take the measles story. So we have measles outbreak in Katsina, Borno, and Yobe, and over 20 million children have not been vaccinated, according to UNICEF. We already have, you know, a deficit like that at this point. Calling for immunization is good. Also sensitizing towards immunization. When we had the guest on the show, one of the things he talked about was, you know, these areas where they had some so-called reservation about immunization, not being sure about it. Public healthcare centers have immunization, take advantage of it. Measles outbreak is because people do not have their vaccines on them, so it's worse. And it's such a damaging disease that it leaves a permanent scar on the victim.
This Yoruba Igbo thing, please, I think we stop adding fire to this thing.
No, but and that is the end of the speech by Oluwo of Iwo Land. Oba Adewale Akonbi mentioned all the reasons to prove that Oduduwa and Oduduwa is different. They are different people. And that, I want to mention his last, I said, Nigerians should focus on unity-based history and not discrediting one that may tear our cloth of unity, togetherness. Because we are all together, we've lived together peacefully. There's no reason to be suggesting that one tribe is superior to the other. We're all the same at the end of the day, and we're Nigerians. So he's saying that there's no overlap of... Igbo shouldn't come up by saying that Oduduwa is the last born.
Oduduwa, according to them, is the leader of the Yorubas. Oduduwa.
Yes.
Which is like Oduduwa, that is...
Odudu, yes, he's black.
He came black. Now, the Odunduwa in the Igbo term is the last born. So saying that the Odunduwa is Oduduwa is mixing it up. That's what he was just saying. So we should make it different. All right. Moving on now to Vanguard. Free web operators threaten national security, says experts. El Zakzaki reps adjourn as protesting Shiites storm National Assembly pull down gate. FRSC to penalize indiscriminate parking of tankers. Not today.
There's a story I think we should have taken in Tribune. NEMA officials, 4 of them were kidnapped.
Oh, really?
Yes, they were in Rivers State. Yes, sorry. So 4 of them had gone for an exercise, enumeration exercise, which is to go through people, farmers especially, who had, for some reason, maybe through flood or one incident or the other, to just take down their names and make sure that they're somehow compensated. On their way there, they got kidnapped. One was shot. He pretended to have died and, you know, he was taken to hospital. Sad thing about this story is that these officials were sent on this exercise without proper security, no provisions for accommodation, no travel allowance. Was it to a danger zone? No travel. No, it wasn't. It was to Abua Odua local government in Rivers State. It didn't seem like it was a danger zone. But these are allowances that are meant to be given to government officials who go on exercises like that, and it was not provided for them. Even the car that they used broke down several times on their way there. Okay,
so this is an addendum to the story.
Yes, right. Until someone helped them, you know, with their private car. It just shows the addendum to the story is
even the people doing
but
their
the
work.
thing is that the security, they would have gotten security on top of, you know, just let go like that.
Unfortunately, that's all we can take on Front Page Review. I just saw Professor Papa. He's actually in this day. Oh, so proud of you, sir. Well done. Okay, that's all we can take. I want to take one more paper. When we come back, we'll start with the Minister Ngige's utterances about doctors leaving Nigeria. It's very hot. We want to hear your views. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. So, according to the reports that we all have read, the Minister of Labour and Productivity and Employment, actually Dr. Chris Ngige, says that doctors who feel they want to relocate in search of greener pastures are free to do so, as the nation has enough medical personnel. Since he said that thing, online has gone crazy. Social media has gone berserk. And then what are your own thoughts? We'd like to hear our viewers' views on this. You can join the conversation 070-806-68014. You can also tweet to us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag YourViewTV so we can read your tweets. All right. So, those of you clamoring, saying, there's brain drain, they are traveling, we are losing doctors. They've told you that it's okay. Relax, calm down. We have a whole lot of doctors here in Nigeria who are working. So we don't, that actually traveling abroad is a good thing because according to what the minister said, they go there to learn better skill, hone their skill, become better at what they do, maybe then send dollars home to help their families. So it's dollars for the country. It's foreign exchange for the company, for the country. So I'm thinking to myself, okay, is that appropriate for the minister?
Well, I disagree with him on 2 points. While I didn't read the NMA's reaction to this story, my first opinion was that there was a high level of nonchalance of someone who is not aware of the fact that Nigerians have one doctor to 5,000 patients, which is in every shape and form a deficiency. So for someone who is not aware to occupy such a level, is a minister, you should know that we have a crisis in our health sector. But then why should he know? When was the last time he went to a Nigerian hospital for treatment? When? Because if for any reason he's ever been to a Nigerian hospital for treatment, he would know that we don't have enough doctors. Then you come on air and say they are free to go. We have enough to export. We had Abike Arewa last week, and she mentioned there is a process for export of our skilled hands. So indeed, if we do, and the truth is we have fantastic doctors. Nigerian doctors are the best everywhere in the world. So we do have them, but we did not export them legally, officially, in a way that it brings returns to the country. So when he says we are exporting them, sir, how are you exporting them?
Well, in fairness to him, I mean, I'd like to take a quote from him, saying that because we were accusing saying that the fact that doctors travel out is a brain drain. And he's saying brain drain will only be inimical when, for instance, neurosurgeons travel and we don't have neurosurgeons at home. So he's not saying that the experts we need should leave.
I have a feeling he doesn't know the statistics of 1 to 5,000. Yeah. As long if he knows that statistics, he will not say that because there's no justification for that statement.
Okay, I try to make sense of what he said. You know me now. Try to make sense of what he said in the sense that, yes, it's true, countries around the world export whatever they have, and we have Indians everywhere in the world practicing medicine. So, yes, maybe he's talking about that sort of export where we do. But when we have a deficit in the numbers that we need already here, and we do not have, and the reason why most of our doctors leave is the working condition.
Yes.
The infrastructure are not available. And he said it in his interview, because I watched the interview, was saying that they go there because of better facilities there to earn skills and then come back home. So
if your minister says,
if your minister admits on national TV that we have deficits, they are going to use what they have there. It means that they know what they need to put in place, and they are not putting it in place, and is admitting that they have failed in that area. That's what I'm hearing.
So that the Minister of Health has failed.
We have 1 to 5,000, and this is not specialist. So we have, like when I was in the hospital, in that hospital that I saw, we have only 2 consultants. I was a consultant's case, and if imagine that we have my own kind of case, how many of us? My consultants will have to walk their back. And I remember a time when they had to call at 1 a.m. because of a particular case that turned out to be a consultant's case, and she had to drive down to the hospital. So, such working conditions are not healthy.
Let me give you some stats based on what Daily Sun gave us some stats on the front page.
Daily Trust.
Says Daily Trust. There's 1 doctor, according to WHO, the recommended is 1 doctor to 600. UK, according to them, have 1 doctor to 357 patients. South Africa has 1 doctor to 1,250. Nigeria has 1 to 5,000. And total number of doctors in Nigeria are 45,000. Nigeria's health budget since 2001 is less than 5%. In case you don't know what that is, that's less than 5% of 8-point-something trillion.
Yeah.
Now, African AU benchmark an annual budget of health sector to be 15%. So ours is still doing way below that. And let's see another figure. An amount lost by 9 African countries, including Nigeria, since 2010 from training doctors who migrate is $2 billion. Goodness me. Just like Tokwe said, our minister gets this. Go ahead, Mariam.
So that is where I'm coming. Is let us look at the positive that has come out of what has happened, because everyone has called him out, NMA, SERAP, everyone. So the good thing that has come out for me is that now he knows. You know, sometimes we say, maybe the president does not know, maybe they don't know, but now you know, now you have the figures, now you have the statistics, now you know for sure. So probably when you sit down, when he sits down with his co-minister for health, you would now say, these are the statistics. So that's the only good thing I would say.
The good thing for me also is to let the president know, because I think I keep going back to what my interview with Minister Fashola had said. each minister must be able to sell what they're doing. Now, obviously, we have ministers who are unable to articulate the right the jobs they are doing, number one, and also to understand the effects of every single thing you say on air, because the ripple effect of what he said, it was for him, he said it very nonchalant as he didn't care.
That's the thing. You see, most of the ministers don't want to speak up because they're afraid that they will goof this kind of goof, which will show off how well they don't know what they're supposed to do. You know, because this kind of thing now, everybody will not come and meet him and say, Ngige, you shouldn't have done this. You shouldn't have done this interview, because if he didn't do this interview, we will not know that he didn't have the information. No, you don't get it. We would not know that he didn't have the information. If he had the information, it will be better equipped to serve us better. A lot of our ministers need to be, it be compulsory for them to speak up to us, because that way we know what is in their head.
What are the strikes? What were the objectives of the strikes that NMA and all the medical associations go on annually? I remember throughout the earliest in this administration, they were on strike all the time. If they were not advocating this kind of issues, putting it out there all the time to the point that we know before the minister is even talking, he himself is abreast of it, then they are not doing enough as well.
I don't want...
Because this is reactionary. You understand? This is the Minister for Labour. It's not the Minister for Health. I'm sure you'll be amazed to find out even the Minister for Health.
Let me take this call from Dubai. Kika, are you there? Thanks for calling.
I'm there, yes.
Morning. Go ahead. You're live.
Yes. Please, my name is Kike Lomafolabi. I'd like to make 2 comments here.
Yes.
One of the arguments that you are making is the fact that we do not have enough doctors for the hospitals in terms of doctors-patient ratio. So that's a different question. Are we ready to change that ratio now? Are we in a position to change that ratio? If we're not in a position to change that ratio, then I come to the minister's comment, which is, it's a good opportunity for Nigerians to travel abroad and to work. I live in the Sultanate of Oman, where majority of Nigerians that are there are housemaids. So if we have medical doctors who are not able to get jobs in Nigeria, go abroad to take jobs, that's a good thing. So if you look at it from that angle, that does not say that we shouldn't improve the doctor-to-patient ratio.
Thank you, Kike, for bringing up the issue.
Wrong in saying Nigerian professionals should go abroad and work. If you get abroad in other countries, professionals from India, from other parts of Africa, are all over the world. We should, as a nation, also be shipping out professionals, not be shipping out our ladies.
All right, thank you. So let me let Neymar respond to this.
So thank you, Kike, for mentioning the issue of lack of recruitment. Yes, we have doctors graduating every year and looking for jobs within public sector, because most of them want to get public sector employment. We have that deficit. What I remembered happening then was a replacement method. So doctors get employed, they travel out, and then they have to then do a replacement rather than a recruitment. So there's no growth necessarily within the system.
So here's my take. Because she's saying that we should see the positive side of our doctors getting employment. Is it that our ministers are not bothered about taking care of the Nigerians on ground? Because if we say that they should go, that means you are saying that the rest of us that are Nigerians, we can go and die. Because we queue up. We queue up to get treatment, and the doctors, you meet them, they are tired. They've been overworked. That one. Number 2, Mariah, Nigeria is one of the cheapest places you can become a doctor. We subsidize education for doctors. Everywhere else in the world, you pay through your nose to become a doctor. You're paying student loan for years. So when you subsidize it, you train these doctors and they begin to go to serve in the US, in the UK, other parts of the world.
But you of all people always tell us that let's go back to what caused this in the first place. We don't have all our educational system.
We don't have the facility to employ enough.
What I feel is that we don't have leadership understanding the pains of Nigerians, and so they cannot solve our problem.
Let me take this call. Kaduna, I'll come to you, Mariam. Thanks for calling. Are you there? Musa? Hello, Musa?
Yeah, morning.
Morning, you're live. Go ahead, please.
Okay, I think it's an indictment from the minister to have said that, bearing in mind that our president went to spend 3 months for medical tourism.
Exactly.
If we had had enough, then our president would have stayed in Nigeria for medical services. Atamils of Ghana, president of Ghana, one president of Ghana died in Ghana because they had enough medical services. They have enough doctors. Nelson Mandela of late died in South Africa because they had enough medical doctors to keep medical services. Nigeria don't have enough. It's a shame that the minister has to say that because they have indicted what the reality on ground. Thank
you very much, Musa. Yes.
Yeah, so I just wanted to bring, I think, the previous caller, when she says if they can go abroad and work, the thing we're mainly talking about here is that for those of us who are here right now, we do not have enough doctors. I was reading on social media, someone said she's going to have to wait a whole year to get her son to get a particular surgery done, because there are not enough doctors to do that. So they have a long waiting list before someone can...
We can't rush this.
Marital, let me just put things in perspective. What Ngige was talking about was the availability of doctors who are not having enough facilities to work here. They have graduated, they're professionals, we can export that because there are many, and we have, the ones available can only work with the facilities here.
Unfortunately, she doesn't have to go on a break. We can't thrash this issue today.
And then the president traveled because of lack of facility.
We need to bring it up again. We need to bring it up again.
Yeah,
so
we will.
We just, there was one thing was supposed to just mention what our minister said. So those of you don't know, now you know that your minister has no idea. Okay, let's go on a break. When we come back, we discuss the proper Thursday topic. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
So, thanks for staying with us. So moving on to proper Thursday gist. A particular story has been generating quite a bit of controversy online. It's about a Nigerian councillor. According to him, men should stay away from women who do not love money. So we're asking, what is wrong with women loving money? And we're linking that to the story that women are always accused of not supporting their husbands, saying that there's a notion that women who are not ambitious don't push their husbands enough. There's a saying behind every successful man, there's a woman. So we ask, does a woman truly determine her husband's success? So we're linking both together.
Let's start with one.
The issue of women loving money, is that a bad thing to love money?
It's a good thing.
I mean, for someone like me, I grew up, my father taught us practically to hate money. We had that training of everybody that has money is a thief. You know, they stole money. You made it look, he made it look as if being modest was the only option. That because when his colleagues were relocating, moving, he said, you're not going anywhere, you're staying here. They want to move to the island, buy a new car. He would use that is a Mercedes Kwakoko. What you call it? You call it Kwakoko. That's Mercedes 200 or 220. That's what he drove from day one. And that was what he did till he died. So modesty was what he taught us. Like, whatever you have, you stay content. So someone like me, I'm not looking for that extra. What I have is just sufficient. Now, in today's terms, that's not ambitious. That's not you being assertive. You're just comfortable with what you have. Is that a good thing?
The councillors, for me, when I saw the comments...
Oh, Sugar, I forgot to introduce our guest. Look at me. I'm sorry. Joining us is the founder. I do apologize. Joining us is the founder of Gem Sisters Club, Joanne Bande. Welcome to the show. I'm so sorry. We just entered the gist. I got lost in the gist. I forgot to introduce our guest. How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you.
Good to have you on the show. So let me start with you.
Let's start with you.
I mean, is it a good thing for a woman to be ambitious, to love money, to want life, and to just do more?
There's nothing wrong,
right?
You know, with being ambitious,
right?
If it's channeled in the right, direction and proportion. There's nothing wrong in having money. It's the love of money, that is the root of evil things. So, because money is a defense, so there's nobody on earth that doesn't like money. Right. So money facilitates a lot of things.
Exactly.
So just saying that is only women, I think that's not fair.
I go focus on women right now. Anyway, let me come way.
But I think the councillor, because when I read it, I was wondering, why would a marriage councillor say this kind of thing? It's easy it's easy to define women that love money. You know that if you hustle and give her money, she'll be happy. You see, when you have women that don't love money, they'll be asking for attention. They want to be rubbing their back. They would want many things that a man might not be efficient to deliver, but when he's a man that loves money, a woman that loves money, you know the way to her heart. Quickly, just supply her money, he solves your problem.
Because men are programmed to produce, to bring money. Yeah. So if they have the money, they can give it to you. But that emotional attention, they have no time for it.
It might not be so easy to box you into that space.
So where I'm coming from is, first of all, we need to separate ambition and being materialistic. Because some people will say, oh, she loves money, and immediately term the person materialistic, but it's just someone wants to be is ambitious and wants to be successful, and to want the finer things of life does not make you materialistic. As you said, you know, it's the love of it, how you go about it. Would you suppress your love for your husband? Would it stop your love for your children? You know, those are the things that are important. What are the values that you have? If those values are still intact, and yet you just also want the finer things, that's fine.
Good. But just like Mariam, you like the finer things in life.
I do like the finer things.
All right, like here comes the new man.
But I'm modest as well.
I've seen women who are entirely condoning of laziness, lack of focus or vision for a family. I remember when I married my husband very early, I just felt I needed a doctor, to see a doctor, and I was like, where is the hospital? Do we have a family hospital? Growing up, we had a family hospital. Dr. Pierce was my pediatrician as a child. I knew my doctors. I was like, where's our doctor? I said, doctor, God forbid illness. I said, not in my house. In this marriage, we have to have a family doctor. And we've had one since then. In fact, it's become family. And I see women carry pregnancy to 9 months and be wondering, well, he did not register me for antenatal. I do not want to pressure him. I'll be like, exactly what are you doing in his life if you do not push him?
Talking about pushing.
We're
going there.
Because she's saying, no, she's saying now I'm Muslim and I want to be a good wife. I'm not supposed to pressure my husband towards
let me come to the issue of pressure.
You know, this kind of things.
Let me put it in the perspective, because recently I was visiting a friend in her house, and she had two or three other friends there, and they're talking about what they planned for Easter last year. They go, oh, last year we went to this resort, then this September, they kept saying, I kept looking at my house like, girl. And they were like, yeah, let's plan something this Easter. I was like, I beg, we don't want to hear it. And they kept saying, no, let us do it, let's do something. And they now called me aside and said, listen, you don't pressure your husband. I mean, let him know that it's important. These vacations are important. You have to let him know now. You can't just allow that, okay, it's okay. My husband, I know the kind of husband I have. It's not as if we don't want it or we don't have it. It's like, Marital, first things first. Yeah. We're not in the resort zone yet. When we get to the resort zone, we'll get there. But going back to the issue, should we push? Because if you don't push your husbands or push your spouses, you probably won't ever have a vacation. You probably won't travel abroad. You probably wouldn't have nice hair, because you just want to be very modest. I don't want him to feel as if I'm nagging him. I want to just be a nice wife. But those who do get results.
Basic things to live.
Let me come to you. Do you agree that you should push your men a bit?
Well, sometimes, yes, because some people need to be pushed. Now, we're bringing the temperament into play here. So if you are a choleric or the extroverted temperament as a woman, and then you're married to a man who is on the introverted side, you know that their number one love language is quality time, and they can spend the quality time. They enjoy their own company.
Right.
So you, as the wife, you have to have that wisdom to know that, okay, you have to push a bit, maybe plan the vacations and things like that. If you compare yourself to another family who the husband is the extroverted one doing all the planning, you're going to run into trouble. So temperament comes into play in all of this, even in terms of making money.
Right. Taka, you wanted to say something earlier.
So I feel that concerning the pushing and ambition issue, there's a very, very thin line. And it's very, very thin from where you become a nag because you're trying to keep up with the Joneses. And from where you are actually motivating your husband. It's not push. You're not meant to push him. You're meant to motivate.
I like that.
Men don't understand. When you call it nagging.
No, but that's the thing. If you look at the person that they are calling a nag, it's because the person is nagging. There's a difference between you motivating and
but the man can call you a
nagging someone. Because
nagging.
At the end of the day, I have seen, when I got married, I did not understand the fact that I should ask my husband for money or those kind of things. I did not grow up in that setting where there was a man that was always dropping money, and there's an allowance and all of that. So when I now see other family families where it is the structure is the man drops upkeep money for the family and all of that. It's different. I had practical example, Murayo. I spoke to an elderly man in his 60s, and he told me that, I asked him that what really pushed him to succeed. He said, I have a wife and children, and the wife is not working. He said, my wife is not working, so am I going to come back home and tell her that I cannot afford to pay for children's school fees or all of that? So that for him was his motivation. Another person that told me was that when I married my wife, she was living on the island. So for me, I felt like my wife married down because she was from a big family. So my hustle was, I must let a family see that she did not marry down. She married well. So that was his own motivation. So that's the thing. The woman must be occupy a figure of motivation.
Just as you said, it has different meanings in different ways. Yeah. Someone sees his wife marrying down and thinks, no, this is a push for me. Yeah. Some men just telling them, it's children's fees, this is a nag.
Yes.
No, for some men, this push that you're calling, as subtle as it is, for the most basic need is a nag. That's the extreme that I have seen. Right. So basic need, 3 square meals a day. Hey, what are your mates doing? Yeah, so that's the story of the lives of some of the women. Right. So what are your mates doing? You're a woman, like, my mother raised us alone. What are you doing for your children? Right. So for some men, you really have to be that nagging wife with the belt on the nose, or else your children and you will sleep in hunger.
I saw there's actually research done to see how materialism affects marriages, and it says that people who materialistic spouses, that maybe one person is materialistic or both people are materialistic, do not actually enjoy marriages as those who are non-materialistic. So that so that's one. But the second thing is, a man already has his ambition, and you find his motivation, I think, anywhere. It doesn't have to be the wife. It could be, as you said, maybe just to make sure I provide for my family, or it's just there's always something that would motivate him. But a person who does not have ambition, there's no amount of pushing that you would push that person. And in that research, it says, before you marry that sort of person, before you get married, know the sort of person it is. If you want an ambitious person, then make sure you're dating the ambitious person and end up marrying that person.
I think women should also understand your own spouse. Don't always compare.
Exactly.
You have to go, because because some men need the push and they appreciate the push. Because some men say, you know what, throw me out there. Others are like, hey, just leave me alone. I can find my own motivation. So you have to know where to draw the line. But let me come to you. I mean, in your own experience, and I mean, what do you think? How can a woman motivate her husband without coming across as a nag?
Well, like you said, you first have to understand who you're married to. That's the most important thing. You have to understand the person's temperament and who the person is. And then there's always a way. If you look at Abigail with her husband, in the Bible. In the Bible. Abigail in the Bible.
You just assume that of us know.
And her husband was a fool, in quote, and that's the meaning of his name. And David wanted something, but she had a way, of getting that stuff to David, and eventually David ended up marrying her, even though, her husband died and all of that. Yeah, because she knew what to do. Even though it wasn't, it was wisdom. She was trying to protect her husband, and to appease the king. If not, he was going to wipe out her whole generation, even her children. So there is a way.
All right, so bringing this to a nutshell, let's bring it home, because we're trying to let women out there understand it's good to motivate and push your husband, but as Mariam has said, if a man wants to do, he will do, with or without your pushing.
But there's this
that's the safe
accrued
that's the safest way.
I think Bill Clinton or something, Hillary, saying that if she had married another person, that person would have become the president of America.
No matter who.
That's Michelle
Obama. I am the kind of woman that makes a president. My husband...
That's too much pressure on us, I beg.
That story, they went to a restaurant and they met the owner of the restaurant, and she said to Obama, do you know I used to date him? And he says, so if you had not married me, you would have been a wife of a restaurant owner. She said no, or maybe he would have been the president of America. Just saying that she would have pushed him.
At the end of the day, it's not about pressure. It's about the fact that when I study when I see those kind of stories, I feel motivated as a wife that I must... It's beyond nagging. Model the right value, because there's nothing... How DJ told you something? When you accomplish the things that you've been pending for a while. You earn his respect.
True.
You will be able to influence him. When you have not in any way modeled the right value, there's a way a woman will carry herself, accomplished in herself, that would on its own push the man to want to do more.
Exactly.
Take this call. I hope people cut that. Because
You say they
RJ had always told me that, because, and I always hold on to that value. Let me take this call. Thanks for calling. Are you there? Hello? I think we lost that call. Henry, are you still there?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Henry?
Yeah.
You're live. Go ahead, please.
Please, I want to ask a question.
Yes.
Does it mean that most women, they are the ones pushing, like, I want to use our politicians, for instance. No, most of them, they have this attitude of embezzling money, and their wife the one pushing them.
It's the mistress, not the wife.
You have to answer the question.
It has to be the mistress, is not the wife.
No, but before they entered ministerial positions, they had wives.
You don't usually see their wives.
Politicians, is it the wives that
You don't see the wives. It's the mistress.
You know, he made a good point.
Very, very good one.
I remember there was a time when I can't remember for sure if it was Sultan of Sokoto or the Emir of Kano had come out and said to Nigerian wives, please, don't demand too much that your husbands are going out to embezzle, to embezzle and do things like that. Yeah. And women came for him. They said, oh, if we don't push him, if we are not the ones enjoying it, somebody outside will enjoy it. So just leave us. We are going to enjoy it.
That is the truth.
I don't
because the way I see it, I always say it to them, if you don't motivate him to do the needful, when he has excess and doesn't know what to do with it, he will do it outside. You have to create need. School fees, next thing, car fuel, put the bills right out there. That's the truth. If the money is there and you're doing what...
He will spend it somewhere. He will spend it somewhere.
Put all the demands. I have a friend that list out everything. My hair upkeep.
That you will not have any extra.
What about if you lay everything out and he says,
even his own needs, your tailor's clothes, this is how much your tailor is using for your bills, this is your own bill, this is mine, this is the children.
Well, this is what we arrange this. Organize his life.
Organize his life.
Let me hear your thoughts on that.
I think, oh my goodness. Sorry. I think that it's what it is in someone that you motivate out. So if he's already, in quote, has that greed, because apparently what is, materialistic, being materialistic, it's just an, excessive desire for material possessions or money. Right. So if he already has it, then all he needs is just a little...
Okay, let me take Dr. Dr. Are you there from London? Thanks for calling. Go ahead. Boston, go ahead, please.
Hello, hello, my Murayo.
Yes.
It's my first time of calling.
Welcome to the show.
So I've been trying for long to reach you, but one way or the other, you can't just get to some aspects in United Kingdom. So I love this show because most of the things that you discuss is something that is very relevant to about what's going on in Nigeria. First, I want to say something about the doctor issue you are talking about this morning.
Yes, you have 30 seconds, Boston. Go ahead, please.
No problem. So my own thing is that when you look at what Ngige said about the doctors, over here in UK, and I've been to America as well because I'm the citizen of this country and I'm the citizen of Nigeria. So you see doctors over everywhere, in America, in Australia, Nigerian doctors are everywhere, and they are doing excellent job. So, but for a minister to say that, I think it's just totally wrong. Because where is his loyalty? When you work for somebody or you are representing a country, you have to be loyal to the citizens of that country. So I'm going to fault in Ngige here because of his loyalty. He's not loyal to Nigeria. That's all I would say.
All right. Thank you very much for that, for your comments.
Yes, okay. I wanted to give two examples. We have, there's a story about, they said Bill Gates has always been rich before he got married to his wife. But that when he got married to Melinda, she helped channel his wealth through the aid that he gives to Africa for HIV and things like that. But then we also have the story of Bonnie and Clyde, the armed robber lovers who came together and, so and I agree with you. So what the person already has, you get the partner that pushes that side of you. So the wife can motivate a good person or an evil person.
But you'll be surprised. I think some people will take your suggestion.
Just live within his means. If he's a thousandaire, plan his life within the thousands so that the excess is not falling on the wrong side. Yeah.
Okay, all right, let's go.
Take ownership of the man's finances.
That's all.
Take ownership of the man's finances. Nice, good. Take ownership of your husband's finances. Don't go and break marriages, I beg. Let's go and break. When we come back, we try to tackle another hot topic. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. All right, so we have another really hot topic, but I think the previous topic hasn't been probably thrashed, so maybe we should try to go back to it. Because the objective really is to help our spouses, male or female, regardless, because we're women here, we're talking to women, but really men too should support their wives. Sure. So we're trying to understand how best to support your husband financially so that he can achieve his own purpose and which is beneficial for the entire family. But a lot of men do not understand
how to share,
how to help themselves and help their wives help them.
Exactly.
So we need to share our experiences, and I'd like you to jump in here because I know you work with people and you understand these things a bit more than others. What can a woman do so you don't come across as you don't get in it? You know, some men, as you said, are extroverted, some men are introverted.
How do we deal with them?
How do you break through that and get the information you need to help them out?
Okay, you must know when, where, and how to put it across to the man. Because whether we like it or not, in this, our terrain, men are not taught to talk. And then when you want to bring up a sensitive or a topic that they term sensitive, they shut down. So it's not in their nature. It's not like their counterparts who have been taught to just express your feelings right from childhood. So as a woman, unfortunately, it's looking like it's the woman's responsibility
and we don't want
to train up a grown man, you know. But you're not training him. You are trying to also help yourself and your sanity. So you have to know when, how, and where to bring up those conversations that he terms as sensitive.
When you have a woman that is constantly looking at Joneses, saying, okay, people are traveling abroad, people are relocating, people are taking their children to certain schools, I want us to, you know your husband has the capacity, but you just feel like he's just prioritizing other things. So in that kind of situation, and you also want that lifestyle, how do you have that conversation?
Well, she has a problem already. She's looking up to the Joneses, which should not be, that's comparison. And you should never live your life on, on that, or else you're heading for the disaster.
Question, please. During the break, you mentioned about how two broken people are trying to come together and the places of our temperament, knowing ourselves and not knowing ourselves. And I know, and I've said it many times, I didn't know who I was when I was getting married.
Exactly.
And how do we navigate when we're already married to this person who is so different? How do we penetrate and have that conversation? Where do we start from?
Okay. Now you're married. If you weren't married, I'll say, of course, during the days of courtship, you must begin as friends, and talk about real life issues. Now you're married, you still need to cultivate that friendship. You must talk, you must communicate, so you ask your spouse, in whatever area, what would you like? What would you want? How do you want me to help you?
Let me take this call from Bola. Bola has been holding for a while. Bola, are you still there?
Okay.
I'm still there.
Go ahead, please. You're live.
Okay. Please, I would like to say that it's quite unfortunate that our minister got it wrong completely. Well, in Nigeria, we have traditional birth attendants, we have alagbomo, we have herbalists, we have spiritualists, we have Ile. So why would the minister not say we have to make? I did not doctor.
Oh, you're so funny, Bola.
You
got jokes, Bola.
You can imagine that. That's unfortunate. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Bola.
In my experience, I didn't learn early. I had my own drive, husband's drive, two separate drives in the house. I was very ambitious. Husband's very ambitious, two separate drives. So we're failing a lot in a lot of things. Wow. And I found out that whenever he brings a goal and says, this is the goal for the year, I'll be like, okay, wait, I do the calculations. I don't take risk. So everything has to be well insured before we go in. And my guy will just lose that conversation. I will lose it there. When I decided, okay, lead, I feel that he's not leading me quick enough or something. So we kept having that argument. It took me to losing, a car and pushing him for us to have a car business today. That, guy, I need to buy, I will buy it by myself. And then we studied it and we started it. This thing has been in the family for years. He did not see it. So sometimes you need to be that wife who, yes, not necessarily loves to traveling. You're not traveling, living that Jones's life, but you do the basic things to make life easy. You have to ask for it.
Let me help you,
I saw women carry one on the back, carry one in your pregnancy, handle two on your hands, enter buses and say, you want to show your wife, your husband, you're a strong woman, you can take care of your kids. Whereas this man is driving in the car and is going and you're dealing with all this. A woman should be able to say, oh God, these children, you have to put, you understand?
Okay, let me share my own story. Because as I said earlier before, I grew up in that home where you've just been taught to be content, right? So nothing, that was the English word for Jamiloju, nothing Jamiloju.
Nothing.
No, thank you, please.
So it's like,
you're not moved.
I'm not moved by a lot of things that people are moved up. So traveling, been there, done that. There's really nothing big that you're going to do. Is it not this house we're living in? Is it not this car we're driving? I'm okay. So someone like me could be accused of not pushing enough because what I have is basic. I'm fine. I don't need the extra. So, but people will say, no, Mariah, you've got to do more. You've got to do more because you see your colleagues, they're actually getting more, but I'm actually still content. Is that a bad thing?
So no, it's not a bad thing. Let me comment. For me, the way it works in my house is that I noticed from the beginning while we were still seeing each other that my husband and I had the same goals. We knew what we wanted for each other. We knew what we wanted for our children when we have them. So we know good education, just have finer things of life. But, you know, we have our house, we have a car or two. You don't have to have the whole world. But I also noticed that when, like, people would say to me, like, when I was about to have kids, everybody's having their children in America. Why won't you go and have your child there? And my husband and I, we talked about it. For them, it was important that what may come from it. But we're saying, you go there, who will be with you to take care of you? So those are our values. We wanted someone to be there. I wanted my husband to be there with me to take care of our child, and I would not be too stressed. So for some people, it will seem like, oh, I'm not pushing for more. But I'm actually getting more by staying back instead of going to America.
So what you prioritize is different.
Yes.
Exactly.
So, you know, you give an example of, you know, husband driving and the wife is hustling through all of the stress with the children. I think that it might have to do with who the man is. My husband had a value, before we got married, that his wife would, whenever he sees pregnant women on a bike, he didn't have a car, but he always says that my wife will never be pregnant on a bike. And he kept repeating it to himself over and over again, because for him, it was just a no-no. So those things, it's not like I now pushed him and said, oh, my dad, I don't want to be carrying pregnancy on a bike. No, it's already what he had in him. So it's not about, it's the discussion. It's a discussion. Mariah said something that also, is there anything wrong with me for not pushing him? We have a discussion on what do we want. But the sad part is, which we will discuss after the phone call, is how do you get a man that doesn't know what he wants to agree on something?
Okay, let me take this call from Yobi. Are you there? Thanks for calling.
Yeah, I'm still there.
Go ahead, please.
I'm still there.
Go ahead, we're live.
Yeah, I'm Alagi Tayolo calling from Yobi Damatru.
Okay. Go ahead, sir.
Hello, on the issue of Ngige saying we have enough doctors in Nigeria.
It's too hot, though.
I don't know where he got his statistics from, except that he has a hidden agenda. Anybody who has been popularizing our hospitals in Nigeria, we quite know that we don't have enough doctors, especially consultants. I have a particular person I know who his mother was to be operated upon, but the doctor that specialized in that particular disease could not be found until about a month. He has gone to other places to work. And because of the fact that Nigeria doesn't take care of their doctor very well, that's why they start to seek for greener pasture. Going for greener pasture does not mean we have enough doctors in Nigeria. It's because they are not satisfied. There are no equipment to practice with. There are no any other modern technology they could practice with. And that is why some of them desire to go back to abroad and practice. And you see, the worst part of it is that many of our doctors in abroad are the best of doctors that any of this country can find. So
thank you very much, Ayala. Appreciate your views. Thank you so much. Yes, you see something. Let me jump. Go ahead. I don't want to say something. Go ahead.
Bring it home. Yes, because I noticed that we've been saying that people should study about raising, parenting, study about. A lot of us get married and our counseling is not good enough. The quality of counseling that we have does not prepare us. That's even for the Christians. The Muslims have counseling, Nima.
Yeah, they do.
Before you get married, because you need to understand what we are doing. So, personal experience with my husband, I realized that I'm argumentative. If you say, Tokwe, move this cup here, I want to understand why I should move the cup. When I question the motive or question the conversation, the next thing is, the conversation will just end. He will just say, like we are arguing, and he doesn't want to argue, and then the cup will not move. I actually want to move the cup. I actually just wanted to know why we should move the cup, but I won't know why, and I will not move the cup. And when I now say, yeah, let's move the cup, we say, no.
We're not moving the cup anymore.
We're not moving this cup anymore. So it is not, it's taking, and it's been, I'm married for almost 10 years. I'm not telling him now that, listen, I'm not rude, I'm not disobedient, I'm not undermining your authority when I say why. I am just the kind of person that asks why. And I have to repeat it over and over again because he needs to understand that when I say why is not rudeness. So we need to always define, and for someone else is something else. But define and understand each other.
Thanks for calling.
Hello, Mariah.
You're live. Go ahead, please.
Okay, good morning.
Morning.
Now, are you now surprised that I'm speaking about Ngige?
Yes, we know.
Would you now be so surprised why people take their destiny in their hands in Nigeria? When those who are supposed a minister for labor, who is supposed to take care of the interest of people, is now saying there are over too many in the country and they should go away. And go and ask the people that have people in the hospital waiting for doctors to work on them, and they have died in the process. They will be so pained. It's a disaster that you have somebody like Ngige as a minister, too arrogant.
Thank you so much for that. Thank you. I think it was Jumoke that said, used to say that you're one sickness away from poverty.
Yes.
He always says on this table that just every Nigerian or most Nigerians are one sickness or illness away from poverty, because when you have that sickness, you like all your money, your savings go into it, and you're back to zero.
Yes.
Now, going back to
I wanted to put things in proper perspective. Tope is lucky she has a husband who has a vision of comfort for his wife.
Okay.
Miriam is lucky they have a joint vision. I can push my husband to do something, but I see cases of women, which is why I understand this tweet, that you have to be that woman when he doesn't know or he's not willing to push him. This is how it is. Don't pressure him to make the big bucks, but to have the ability. He must be able to provide the basic needs of life.
Yeah, exactly.
So your health, you want to have, your husband will come to you and say, I must have 4 children. And he doesn't have the means to have 4 children. You should plan and make sure that you people don't have 4 children.
True, very
that
true.
is the truth.
Very true.
You should make sure you don't have 4 children. That's not disobedience. That's pushing him, because he will later come around to appreciate it when these bills start to come in.
Yes.
You have to have that place that, no way, 4 children, on how much salary? Because you have to make him see the proper perspective. You cannot have a husband who is always in debt because you are condoning of him. Or you have a husband who leaves you.
No.
Condoning is the problem.
Please, Mariah, let's talk about
this. Let me take this call, and I'll come to you on this issue of condoning. Are we condoning laziness? Are we condoning complacency? But let's take this call. Thanks for calling, Queen. Are you there?
Yes, good morning.
Good morning. Go ahead, please.
According to what Nima said, women are always trying to show their husbands that, yes, you have the capacity to manage almost everything. I was in that situation like 2 weeks ago that I had to carry my 2 children. I was going for a training, and then my husband went to drop us off, and then coming back, the whole scenario was not a pleasing one at all. Okay. I felt really, really bad, but thank God for this program. I'm now knowing that I should stand up and know what I really want and speak up for it. Because I really, really felt bad. Okay, how am I going to bring down these 2 children? I have a 7-month-old child and a 3-year-old child. So moving all the way from Ojodubega back to my house was quite tough. I had to book an Uber. Yes, of course, I found my way out of it. But right now I know that, okay, going forward, I shouldn't
discuss and plan.
Just take the whole thing on myself. I should find a way.
All right, let me let you go into that. Is that what we're telling her to do?
What I think, well...
You did hear?
Yeah, I did. She said she wanted to go somewhere. Her husband dropped them off, and then she had to find her way back. She had
given an impression she could deal with it.
She could deal with it well. She has to take the responsibility for that because she allowed that. So what she should have done was, or what they should have done was, sat down and plan. Now, okay, I have to go. Of course, the husband probably had somewhere to go. I'll drop you guys off. How are you going to get back? So honestly, sometimes
you discuss you're coming back. Yeah.
They don't even know. Sometimes they don't know that they are supposed to do this. Right. Maybe bend over backwards.
Because she didn't say it.
Yes, because she didn't say it. So what she should have done was maybe take an Uber or a taxi. And
she did.
Can I have the money for it?
Yes, my auntie
there's something my mom used to say when we were growing up. She said it a lot. She'd be like, I hope you people marry Igbo men because Igbo men can take care of their wives. She says, working in the hospital, people from the north or from the middle belt, when the wife is in hospital, they don't really come to visit. That she sees Igbo men, they will come, they'll feed their wives, but the northern man will be outside and greet her, are you okay? And then he's gone. But the female relatives, she says she just sees that Igbo men just seem to be more involved and taking care. So maybe, as you said, some of us do not understand that because of culture. We don't see that the man can do more for the...
We just don't want to disturb. We don't want to rock the boat. We don't want to ruffle the feathers. So that issue of condoning, which is what the lady that is talking about, she doesn't want to stress him out. Okay, come back and pick us up. That will manage. And a lot of women do that.
We just then he's not doing you any wrong.
He will drop 10,000 naira. You will manage.
Then he's not doing you any wrong.
What I think is, like you said, he will drop 10,000 naira. If that's what he has, because you see, I think that's what the pushing comes in, that people are probably, women are probably pushing their husbands the wrong way. You know that, okay, you know the man you've married. Yeah. Okay. This is all he has. He's earning 30,000. Out of 30,000, he has to save maybe 15 or 20 for house rent. Now he's left with 10,000. The 10,000, the upkeep. Manage. You know,
no, manage.
No, not manage. Well, you also, you can, exactly, that's it.
Let's go on a quick break. Let's go on a break. We're taking this somewhere now. Let's go on a break. When we come back, we'll try to conclude this conversation. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. So during the break, we talked about condoning laziness, selfishness, men who just don't consider the whole family and don't think about their own personal growth. Tokwe had said something about a man saying that, okay, he bought a car now and he's the one going to drive the car when he has a wife with kids. So the issue of condoning, they say, oh, I don't want him to think I'm stressing. I don't want, you don't want to do things that are going to push him outside, as they say. Don't always just be the accepting wife. A lot of women are stuck between that devil and the diplomacy decision that, do I do this or do I not do this?
I don't want to push women to fight their husbands. I don't want that to be the end point of this show. That, oh, go and be fighting your husband. No. But I feel that as much as you're supporting, there must be values and lines drawn to make the person understand you have to take responsibility. There cannot be one car in the house and the man will take it and leave the woman to be taking keke napep or taking bike with children. No, that is selfishness on the part of the man. It is supposed to be service as a man. You serve and lead the family. So how do we draw that line in defining that take responsibility? I would manage the 10,000 you're giving me, but I'll let you know that this money isn't enough. Of course, I would appreciate and pray for you to earn more. And you don't think it. You don't think it. You say it. So you tell your husband, thank you for giving me this 5,000 naira. God bless you. Yes, but it is not enough. I will see how to make it work. I'll manage it. I'll appreciate it and give me more.
Yeah. So, like I said earlier, that's the how, the where, and the when, you know. So a man who, he's got to be motivated, you know, if you put it that way. Any normal human, except he's insane, you know, any normal human being, whether it's a woman or a male, would appreciate that you come from that route. But when you're very aggressive, you know, he's going to just shut down. You know, so in I don't, like you said, women should know how. Men should also have the
Sense of responsibility.
Sense, exactly, of responsibility to know that, you know what, this woman is under my care. I have these children. Because at the end of the day, whatever you're doing, consciously or unconsciously, you're modeling some things to the next generation. Your sons and your are watching when they get married, which I always tell my husband. I say, listen, this vicious circle needs to stop with you and I. Because you have sons, you have a daughter. I don't want my daughter to become a floor mat for somebody else, so they don't say her mother came to take her out of her husband's house. I don't want my sons also to just leave everything laid back and say, that's how I saw my daughter. That's how I saw my mom used to do it.
So she used to cook 10 pots of soup.
Sweetheart, so we need to do it together. We need to do it together. So we must.
I think that's a good point. Let's take a few twists. That's a good point because our mothers managed, and a lot of men put pressure on their wives that, can't you just manage? My mother raised 10 of us.
That's why I say that manage, but let him know. It's like when you sacrifice and let him know that I'm making the sacrifice for us.
Exactly.
Sometimes a lot of women just take it. The man knows that if I get home and I don't have any money, she will cook. No. So you know that if I don't have money, she will still cook. If I don't have money, she will still pay school fees.
9 months notice so you know of a pregnancy, and you people do not get to the hospital to register, and you say, I don't understand.
Have money to
how is
it
possible? Let's take to it.
Mr. Jebaya says, it is good to motivate your partners to achieve goals that are achievable and practical, not the ones that are not realistic.
Exactly.
Partners in constant dialogue and conversation always agree on a common ground to achieve the family goals. He also says there are limitations you can push a man to achieve an aim, especially if he doesn't key into it. One can always look for a common ground to agree on set aims for the family, and they have to be achievable.
Ibrahim says that there is no reason why a woman should carry 3 children on bikes if they had planned on their resources. King Adewale says, yes, a woman truly determines her husband's success, and that's the power this generation failed to unlock. I don't want to use my family as a case study because I don't want to look like I'm putting my business on Twitter, but a woman can actually make her husband. Mr. Jackson said, I love my wife, but anytime I disclose my plans for her, she starts pressuring me, so I no longer tell her my good intentions for her to avoid quarrel in the household.
So women also have to activate their wisdom.
Exactly.
You can't
that's a place.
You can't always just take advantage of the information your husband gives to you.
That's not maturity. That's not maturity.
So you have to have a common goal. It's important that someone is driving or leading, and then the other, there has to be a leader.
So we have to round up. So what we're saying in essence, Nimman, I'd like you to help us round up in this. Is that, okay, yes, understand what your spouse has, and then try to plan around that what you have. And then push for just a little, but now, that's also relative. Push a little, just like you're saying.
Reasonably.
Don't overdo it. How do you push reasonably but not overdoing it?
So the line is, no negatives. So I will never push my husband to do something out of his means. Within the means that we have, we must have a structure in the house. If what we have, the resources we have, can only carry one child, comfortably, both of us will live comfortably, so that nobody is pressured on one side to say, I'm bearing so much for the family, I'm suffering, I can't afford normal, basic things. Because I was raised modestly as well. Basic needs. Right. So the extras come when you have extras. Right. So you want to have, you're pregnant, don't get to the hospital and be doing sit-out because your husband cannot pay the bills. Exactly. It has to be a plan. Once he sees
let our guests have the final word on this. So your own general thoughts, what would you advise women generally to do just on this issue?
Plan and budget, you know, within what you have.
And then you save as well.
And then and save. And that would help a lot of marriages.
Are you up to?
What are you working on? We have to round up. Tell us about yourself, what you're doing very quickly.
Oh, okay. So I'm Joan Pandey, and then I run a ministry called the Gem Sisters Club. And this is a ministry geared at bringing hope to the brokenhearted. So this Saturday...
Are you related to Pastor Pandey?
Which one? Charles? Oh. That's my brother-in-law, yes.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow.
So the famous Pandey family. They're all pastors.
It's gotta be one pastor.
They're all pastors.
Yeah, wow. Yeah, they're all pastors.
So broken-hearted, emotional.
Yes, emotionally, yeah, exactly. So that's what we do. So this Saturday we have a conference.
Oh, don't start.
Where is it? It's free. Is it free?
It's free.
Where is that?
It's at Shiba Center.
Ikeja.
Yeah, Ikeja.
Okay, we'll let you know. We'll let people know. Sure. Thank you so much for coming. Appreciate you being here.
My pleasure.
All right, hope you had fun on the show. Everybody want to talk about Ngige. Don't worry, we'll bring it up again next week because people really want to thrash issues. We'll take our time. We'll bring NMA, we'll bring the MDCAN, we'll bring... You can even get the minister himself to come and sit.
He will not try.
He won't answer us. We'll try. We'll try. You never know. So let us thrash this issue of doctor's flight, all right?
How many?
That's all we can take on this show today. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Bye.